This is the Unawarded Black Podcast with your host, Jay Watts.
Been deeper. And black people hear me, because y'all ain't gonna like this one. As a black queer man in America, my basic human rights have been up for legislation every single day that I have had breath in my body, from all sides. And by that, I mean that the black community's relationship with the LGBTQ plus community is appalling at best and eerily similar to that of white supremacists versus black folk. Hear me, black people, and hear me well. I'm calling y'all out right here and right now. You cannot expect our demands of equality to be met with any real legislative policy and change when y'all turn around and inflict the same kind of hate and oppression on us. The tragic reality here is that black, trans, as well as gender non-conforming women and men are being killed in the United States by cis black men to such a degree that it is nearly the worst emergency for trans women on the planet. The murders of black trans women by black men since 2016 have helped drive the most violent period for LGBTQ plus people on record. Just this past week, during the riots, during the peaceful protests, Ayanna Dior was brutally beaten by a gang of black men while trying to peacefully protest for our rights. LGBTQ plus black folks are black people too. Our lives matter too. So this is my response to those of y'all who don't understand that. Fuck you. And yes, I am cussing. It's time for cussing. Y'all, this conversation is not about tolerance. This conversation is not about acceptance. It's about a demand for the respect for our humanity, like we respect everybody else's, because none of us are free till we all are free. So to my homophobic and transphobic brothers and sisters, get your fucking houses in order. But I digress. As black people, we risk our lives every time.
I'm black. I was born black. I'll die black. I'm straight. I'm black. Not a cis black. I'm a straight black male. What Mr. Porter fails to realize is that first, you are black. Whatever you are, as far as whatever you are, as far as your sexuality, is your sexuality. He gay. So what? You can be gay. But the thing is, what he was trying to point out is that he's trying to equate what the black experience is to what his experience is to being a gay male, or to what a lesbian would feel, or a trans would feel. It'll never be the same. My people were brought here. They were slaves. They weren't able to read, weren't able to write, and they weren't allowed to be taught how to read or write. let alone own property, own lands. You'll never be able to equate over 100 years of being a slave and having your family members sold off, your wife, your children sold off to never be seen again, to the experience of being a gay person in America. I almost don't know where to go next with this, because to me, I believe Billy Porter is pitting his gayness over his blackness. Your gay experience will never be your black experience. They are not one and the same. Hell, you didn't even complete the bad experience. You married a white man, but you talking about white supremacy. What I need to go with this next? Is the whole situation amazes me. That he, out of all things, uses the backdrop of what happened to George Floyd to try to call out the black community. Being gay is your sexual choice. It is not. You can be gay and not tell anybody and won't nobody ever know. But instead, you announce it to the world. You wear a shirt that says gay ass. And, gay as fuck. That's what it says. But the thing is that the things that you face as being a black person, you can't hide the fact that you're black. You can hide the fact you're gay. You can hide the fact you're straight. That's why when I watched a football player a few years ago who they made such a big deal about him being gay, and he got drafted all the way down the line. And where is he now? Nowhere. The thing is, your sexual preference shouldn't be what you lead with. What if I, as a straight person, like, I'm straight, I gotta let everybody know I'm straight, How would that sound? And the fact that gay people have started to use the word cis male, that's disturbed to me, because they have to put a name before everything. You are a male that is gay. Okay. Be yourself. If you actually realize now, people really don't really care. It's 2020. Get with the program. You gay, live your life. Gay people on TV, gay people on the radio, gay people on YouTube, really don't care. I mean, you have rights just like everybody else. Next thing I need to get into is something else that he mentioned in there, which is Ayanna Dior. What happened to Ayanna Dior should not have happened. Now, I know the story. I saw the video. And I also have read other parts of the story. You can't justify what happened to Ayanna Dior. Can't justify it. The beginning part, from what I understood, was Ayanna Dior was drunk, and that's why I'm going to use she, because she classifies as she. So, Ayanna Dior was drunk and hit cars. No, these guys did not sit out to beat up a transsexual because she was a transsexual. Nope, that's not what they set out to do. And from what I understand, Ayanna said that she spit in his face, spit in the girl's face, and other sources said that She got drunk, hit these cars, got out. They was like, well, give us some money. And she might have hit a car, allegedly hit a car with a child in it. And allegedly, according to her, spit in the girl's face. And then somebody was like, what does to do? And also, it also said that allegedly, I hate keep saying alleged, but she got into a fight with a girl. And then everybody noticed, oh, that's a guy. And they beat up. You know what? At that point, it should have stopped. If one of them hit her, somebody else should have stood in and say, "Hey, stop." They could have killed Ayanna Dior. Nobody wants a death on their hands. Nobody. But back to my whole point of this whole matter is, black people as a people were taken from Africa, brought to America, made to work in fields, were not considered a full human being. We were 2/3 of a human. White people controlled over the black race. Years later, 1865, we were released, still classified as 2/3, never were allowed to vote. We couldn't. And then, okay, the Klan came around, the first version of the Klan, where they would terrorize black people, try to scare us into not wanting to progress further than what we are. Black people built up, made businesses, and white people still were not satisfied. We had things like that happened, like Black Wall Street. Many black people died that day. And once again, because they were black, the skin color made the difference. We had various murders over time. Black people. You had the one in Carolina where they shot up the protesters. You had black people, the black guy who was hung in Alabama by the Klan, and the mother sued and was awarded the compound owned by the Klan. You've had black people that have just been randomly killed by police, and it's always justified, excluding Walter Scott and his death, Laquan McDonald, which the police officer was charged. His wife she boo-hoos all the time. He shouldn't be in there, but still, beside the fact, Eric Gardner died because he was black. He sold a few cigarettes. What was their justification for choking him to death? George Floyd was black. What was the justification for putting a knee in his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds? That is a long time. 8 minutes and 46 seconds. People have targeted trans, gay, lesbian, trans, bisexual, queer, plus people. Ooh, that's a lot to say. And then, even thinking about it now, those groups of people don't even get along themselves. They are complaining about one another. So, Billy Porter, do not try to equate your black experience to your gay experience, because it will never happen. You have never heard of the gay plantation, where they, had a plantation full of gays that they made work out in the field. This is just hurtful, if you think about it. Somebody with this, he has a following, and somebody with this much of an influence using a backdrop of a crime that was committed in front of a group of people videotaping, begging, hey, just let the man up. He Lee Nice knows. To tell the truth, it took me the longest time to even watch the video. I couldn't hear it. It was one of the most hurtful things I've ever heard. And when he started calling for his mama, I just stopped. But I think I've talked too long today. Like, subscribe. This is the Unawarded Black Podcast with your host, Jay Watts.